Hi, it's Sean, the Fluency Awesomizer. This is Decoding Multi-Syllabic Words, episode 113. I'm going to take a look at 4 words in this episode, but before we start, I want you to get ready to read a passage I've written. I want you to read it right out loud, all right? And click pause to give yourself plenty of time. Get ready to click pause and read this right out loud. All right, were any of those words tricky to read? Keep watching. In this episode, I'm going to review these 4 words and show you some information and some strategies you might want to recall next time you're stuck on them reading independently. First, a reminder of the fable of the tortoise and the hare, and the moral, slow and steady wins the race, which is great advice when you do get stuck on big unfamiliar words reading independently. I'll use unfamiliar as an example. You can think of these words as races. There is a finish line, and if you read like the hare, you might want to get to that finish line first, and you'll zip through big words like this. That's where mistakes can happen. But if you read like the tortoise when you come to these words and take it slow and steady, right, that patience is definitely going to help improve your ability to decode them. All right, before we look at the words also, I want to go over the letter G. There are 2 sounds of the letter G, and I'm going to give you a quick way to remember those 2 sounds if you ever get stuck on what sound of G to use. So think of geese for just a moment here. Geese, right? You got geese. Now hold your hand out like this. That's the sign language symbol for the letter G. Kind of looks like a goose head. All right, in this world, there's 2 types of people. People who like geese, people who don't like geese. People who like geese might think geese are gentle giants. So hold your hand out and pet that goose with your other hand. You're just a gentle giant, aren't you? People who don't like geese probably think geese are gross. Get going, goose. That's the hard G sound. G. All right, so there's the 2 sounds of G. Now let's go over the words. This word starts with in. There's tan and tang. But now with that G, is this, that's 2 sounds of G. Is this going to be gib or jib? That's gibble or gibble, jibble, jibble. This is intangible. It's an adjective. The root word is tangible, another adjective. And the G in tangible is a soft G because it's followed by an I, which is, you can pretty much count on, if the G is followed by the letter I, that's going to be a soft G. You're familiar with the word giant from all those stories you've read. And giraffe, all right, there's some examples. Tangible, the origin of tangible is in Latin. Tangere. Tangere means touch in Latin. There's another Latin word, tangibilis. That means can be touched in Latin. Like this tangerine. And this Latin word tangibilis, if I just get rid of that is, you can see tangible in that Latin word, right? But it stopped in French first before it came to English. Tangible. And in French, they actually pronounce the ble, tangible, bleu, right? And that's where we get the English spelling of tangible. We got to go over IBLE though. That's a tricky spelling pattern to remember when you're spelling anything that ends with IBLE. It's French in origin, and you can consider it a French root. Seems like it should be spelled like this, tangible or tangible, maybe with 2 B's, but it's IBLE, and it's pretty common, sensible and terrible, for example. Tangible, if you put the prefix in front, that's a Latin prefix, in, meaning not, and intangible means can't be touched. Not like can't touch this, but literally you can't touch it. Like think of sunlight, how it's there, but you can't really put your finger on it. It's intangible. All right, another word that has tang in it as well. And there's the word tangle in the middle of this word. N in front and ment at the end, entanglement. Kind of easy to break this word apart. It's a noun, root word is entangle, a verb, and the root of that is tangle. Interesting origin story with tangle. Long time ago in an ancient language in Europe, there was a word thangle. That was the word for seaweed. Yeah, isn't that cool? Seaweed. And in fact, the German word for seaweed is tang. And you can, if you have seaweed salad or ever looked at seaweed, obviously it's all tangled up, right? People eat seaweed. Look. Entangle is another word. You can get entangled in a web or a net. Right? And if you know the story of Winter, the dolphin with the artificial back fin there, tail fin, Winter got entangled in a net. Entanglement, you put the suffix ment on the end, and you're all tangled up in something like entanglement. All right, this is an easy word to remember how to spell if you think of it as blocks. Like here's the root word tangle, and the prefix n and the suffix ment, and they all come together like blocks. entanglement. All right, another word starts with bell. Ding, 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 ding. Now this in the middle here, R controlled vowel sound there. That kind of looks like the spelling of tiger, right? So is that liger? Well, the G-E-R, that kind of reminds me of the word germ. So is it hard or a soft G in this word? Beleggerent or gerent? Yeah, this is the word belligerent. It's an adjective, belligerent. It comes to us from ancient Latin, belligerantem, meaning to wage war, because the Latin word bellum is the word for war in Latin. Belligerantem, you can tell that's where we get the word belligerent in English, from that Latin. And today, belligerent is used to mean aggressive, right? Like, hey, so speaking of tigers, hey, tiger, guess what? We don't have any internet. What? Oh, tiger's getting belligerent. Belligerent. Look at this, lidge. That's a soft G there because of that E. When G's followed by an E, it tends to be soft. Belligerent. All right, another word. Let's go to the finish line. That's a really strange looking ending to this word. But if you look at the middle, if you've played sports or a fan of sports, you might recognize this word from sports. League. Yeah, league's a weird word. You don't hear the U or the E in league, right? And there's leaguer. Leaguer with R controlled vowel sound there towards the end. And the B in front, that's beleaguered. Really tricky word to read. Never mind spell. That's an adjective, beleaguered. It's also a past tense verb. And the root word is beleaguer. That is a verb. The G in beleaguer is a hard G because it's followed by a U, which is pretty much the rule for G when it's followed by U, as in the word guitar or gummy bears. Now, beleaguer originates in Dutch, an old Dutch word, belegeren, I believe it's pronounced in Dutch, meaning to besiege, which means to surround, as though you're surrounding the castle for the big attack, right? There's another word in German, belagerung, meaning a siege or a blockade, right? Attacking the castle or blocking the street. You can think of the meaning of that. And if you look at that German word belager, that's where we get beleaguer. Right? It made its way into English as beleaguer. The U in beleaguer, this is the tricky part here. That is a silent U, beleaguer. G-U, like in guitar, shows up a lot. But speaking of causing problems, that silent U can cause spelling problems, but that's the meaning of beleaguer, to cause problems, right? That's why we put those, oh, we got a problem here. That's definitely a sign of a problem. Put an ED on the end of beleaguered, and you've got a word that means you're in a bad situation, you're beleaguered. And it's not, you don't hear the ED at the end. It's not pronounced beleaguered, right? It's almost like it should be spelled like this with just the D, but that's a rule about ED. Sometimes you just hear the D, but there is an ED there. You got to remember it's a verb, a past tense verb. Beleaguered. All right, that's it for today's episode. Subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook for more decoding videos like this one. Tell a friend, a family member, or a teacher about me too. That'd be great to spread the word. On my Facebook page, there's a photo album full of reading challenges I've written to help you continue practice decoding those big words at home, which will definitely awesomize your fluency, which is why I'm here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Come back and see me soon. Bye.